Hello and welcome to Great Asian Mysteries, a Mike original where we tackle baffling and mysteriously weird crimes that are committed in real life. I'm your host, Zainab Khan, and today we're talking about the saddest story that I've ever heard, and I'm sure everybody knows about this. And it's genuinely very depressing and heart-aching when you think about it. And every time anybody's reminded, it always sends a chill down their spine. And so the family was hit with the first dose of shock when they went to the shop, and the shop owner said that, hey, I didn't see it personally, but I have CCTV footages, so you can take a look. The family was just eyeing the grainy footage relentlessly, and they were hoping that everything was going to be fine. People were comforting them that it's okay, we can see the footage, we can track, and then we can find her. I bet she's just lost. 7-year-old Zainab in a pink coat was holding a hand of a stranger. She was walking away, and it's a strange man. Nobody knew who he was. And then when she was out of the frame, that far, something that should have been there to begin with. I mean, there shouldn't have been apps and stuff like that, but the authorities and people in charge should have been more vigilant. And there's a reason why all of this, the incidents, is the reason it all happened is because of weak justice systems, weak police forces, and just overall the part where you have to trust your life with the authorities. That whole structure was very weak, which led to all this happening. And the man responsible, Imran Ali, the most despicable human being on this planet, on the face of this planet, was caught, of course, and he was sentenced to life. But Zainab was not his only victim. He had sexually abused and murdered over 7 children, the last one being Zainab. And it's great to know that he was caught finally. I mean, we all wish him the most painful death, but we also know that death is not going to be enough for someone like that, for someone to just do something like that. The only outcome that has any sort of positive impact on society is the fact that apps and awareness went through the roof, as it should. It's so odd because the reason is because of the stigma, which is so sad to know that a mom, a dad, or, a family, they cannot report anything to anybody because they're scared that our child, however they were abused, it had a sexual reference to it. So because of that, just that element right there, which is the worst element, by the way, involving a kid, they couldn't go and do anything about it. And because of that, this whole thing was enabled, and it kept happening until finally, the difference was made. And then there was also more discoveries. There was a small village, a Khanbala village, by the way, and there were some tips being let off, and when they discovered what was going on, they found out that there was a whole kids were being forced to take part in sexual acts. There were pornographic movies, they were recording kids doing all these things. They were forced to do all of this in the village, and no one was doing anything about it until this was brought to light. And finally it was taken down, and something was done about it, and action was taken. We understand that the world has dark places, and not just in Pakistan, but anywhere you think about it, there are prostitution rings that involve children. This was so open happening in that village, and no one was doing anything about it just because they were scared that, oh, because it has something to do with the support and we can't do anything about it. What if this? What if that? Like, society as a whole puts stigmas over humanity, which is just the worst thing you can do, especially when it comes to kids, man. It's just trauma, I think, does not even sell the whole thing. So that even happened. And this was very harrowing. This really shocked the world. It left a very lasting impact that really left a very sour taste. And even to this day, whenever we're reminded, I mean, a lot of people are not even reminded, they remember it every single day, either because they were related, or they have children of their own, or they live somewhere around Kasur or in Kasur. So you can see why they would be affected for a lifetime. Sure, the culprit was caught, but the lasting impact, it left a scar that you can't stitch back ever again. Things like these cannot be healed. That's for you guys to even decide. Like, what would you do if that was you in the situation, if you knew something like this was happening? And what are you doing now that you know something so gruesome is happening just right next door, somewhere around you? What would you do? That's the biggest question. I hope and I pray to God that something like this never happens. Even though we know the world is a very dark place, the best thing we can do is keep an eye on our children, keep an eye on the people around us, the men, uncles, fathers, brothers, just men in general, women in general even. A predator doesn't have a gender, they're just predators. Your job, it is your sole job, once you hit a certain age, you need to look out for these people. You have to make sure they're not enabled, they don't get away with anything, and you also have to make sure your kids are in the safest vicinity as much as you can provide for them. Take care. Prayers always go to the family. I can do nothing but just pray, and I hope that we come more to the side of light and stuff like this never happens again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care.